Madison University. And today I am joined by Katie Burns, Director of Campus Recreation at Boise State University. Welcome, Katie.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So I'm going to get right into it with you because you've had quite the journey to get where you are. You're currently serving as the director at Boise State, but you've only been there for almost a year now, 7 months or so, right?
Yeah, six. I think I just hit six
6.
months.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And so before that, you were the executive director at Utah State.
correct.
And then you spent, I don't know, I did my research. You spent a little over 5.5 years there, or close to five and a
Yep.
half. And you were also
Yeah.
an associate director at Utah State. And you
Mhm.
started right after COVID,
6 weeks before COVID shut the
six
world
weeks
down.
before. Oh, that's what I meant, right
Yeah.
before. Yes.
Yeah. The timing, right? What is
Yeah.
timing in 2020?
But my point is, what a crazy time to start and jump right into it. But you've probably learned a lot during those 5+ years to get you where you are today as director at Boise. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot. Yeah.
But your background hasn't always been in campus rec. You are a res lifer, so to speak. Is that how you say
Yeah.
it?
It's totally fair. Yeah.
Yeah. So tell us about that. You started your career in higher ed and it was all in res life. What did you do
Yeah.
in res life?
Yeah, so I spent 12 plus years as a residence hall director, slash as a director of student experience. So a lot of my residence life experience was in living learning communities. And so very specifically like freshmen and sophomores integrating the outdoor recreation with their general education experience. I
Where was
spent a lot of
this?
time. This was at a small university, Azusa Pacific University in Southern California. The Living Learning campus was right outside of Yosemite National Park. So
Oh, wow.
I like lived separate from the main campus, lived on campus with college students, worked arm in arm with a bunch of faculty that were super cool, and also felt the rub of higher education of like, all you're doing is distracting students from their studies. I'm like, no, no, this is so important, them getting outside. And so I feel like I've spent so much of my career defending the work
Higher.
we do outside of
Okay.
the classroom.
And what a classroom you had outside.
Totally. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think as a director, I'm sure you feel this, right? Outdoor programs sometimes feels a little rogue within campus
Hmm.
rec. And because outdoors is my background, they tend to get along with me a little bit better.
Yeah, sure.
I'm like,
Sure.
I hear ya, and I need you to play the game. Like,
Yeah.
come join the rest of us.
Yeah. So you spent, like you said, I think you said 12 years doing that. What did you
Mhm.
learn from that experience in res life and living and learning communities that you use today as a director?
Oh, great question. Yeah, I think there's a lot of things, right? I think one of them I mentioned a little bit is being able to defend is maybe a strong word, but articulate the value of what we
Mm.
do, right? Before wellness was a popular word, I was living in a world where I was thinking about student wellness all the time, right? Because I see them in the residence hall and I see them on a backpacking trip and I saw them in class. I knew when a student wasn't doing well and we could play with those pieces. So I think that's been really valuable. I learned some really hard lessons in hard conversations really early as a professional. Hard conversations around mental health, like how are you doing? Let's talk about it. Let's remove the stigma. Let's be honest. And then also hard conversations with colleagues of like, when this happens, I feel this and it impacts my work in
Mm.
this way. And
Mhm.
like, let's work through these challenges. And I think like when you're living with people, you just learn to have those conversations in a different way.
Yeah.
You don't put them off. You don't. And I think many of us tend to put off those hard conversations, especially as young professionals.
Yeah.
So I think those are some of the big pieces. I think also just learning to set boundaries was a huge one, right?
Especially when you're
I,
living together.
yes, totally. I spent way too many years investing too many hours into work and not
Mhm.
giving myself a break.
So boundaries
Uh,
for you.
yeah, boundaries
Yeah.
for me as a professional,
Yeah.
knowing that it's okay to go home. It's okay to turn off. It's
And it's
hard,
hard. It's
right?
hard for us to do that, right? Whether it's rec or res life, but I can imagine in res life because it's like 24/7. But even in rec, we have that feeling like, the building's open, so we're on. Even though we have a team who's more than capable of dealing with whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I try to tell my team now, my phone will turn off. If you call me twice, it's gonna ring through and it better be an emergency. I don't want to be surprised by something in the morning, but like also if you don't have to call me, it's okay. I
Yeah.
trust you. So
Yeah.
I had to learn that at an early age as a young professional, like living on campus and like needing to have a life. And it stayed with me, which is great. It's a great skill.
Yeah, that's awesome. So speaking of your skills, it's not just in res life and higher ed, but for the majority of your career, you've spent a lot of time outdoors doing other outdoor stuff, not just from a living and learning community. You've worked as an outdoor backpack and rock climbing guide in the Sierras. Do you miss that?
Oh my gosh. I would say there's like not a week that goes by that at least once I'm not like, I'm done with higher ed. I'm going to go back to guiding. But then the idea of carrying like a 75-pound pack around also doesn't sound
All
like
day
fun.
long. Yeah.
But no, it was so fun to work as a backpack and rock climbing guide. I think the benefit of residence life is they offer these 9-month contracts, and because there's no students in your building, so what are you going to do in the off months? And it was cool for me to be able to pursue these other options. So yeah, I worked as a professional backpack and rock climbing guide. My favorite trips are the ones. I mean, I got to spend a lot of time with students, but guiding the John Muir Trail, I did that for 5 years. It's a 221-mile from Yosemite National Park to Mount Whitney. You're out there for 21 days. And it's cool, right? You learn it's a pressure cooker on leadership for sure.
Yeah. I was going to ask
Um,
you, what is it about that experience that translates into your success as a director?
and I think conversations are so important. And so when you're out there, it's such a pressure cooker, and little things become big things really
Quickly.
quickly.
Yeah.
One example, I had a guest one time who had blisters on his feet, and he just decided not to tell me. And so he's suffering for 5 days, just walking down the trail, and like, these blisters are popping and growing new blisters. And I'm like, number one, I just don't know how he functioned, right? But
Right.
he finally tells me he was moving so slow. We were 2 hours behind the rest of the group. And so we finally roll in and I look at my co-guide. I'm like, I'm going to go talk to him. I don't know what's going on. And so we sit down and he pulls off his boots and they are just oozing. And now there's red streaks going up his leg.
Oh
And
no.
I'm like, oh, you're septic, right? Like, this is
Yeah.
not okay. And we had to call a helicopter to get him out of
Wow.
there, right? Because that can be
Yeah.
life threatening if it's not dealt
Yeah.
with. But I think it's those moments where I'm like, hey, communicate the small things to me. And with my staff now, I'm like, tell me the small things. Send me an email, pop by my office, just tell me what's going on. I don't have to interfere, I don't have to be involved, but it's better to know when it's small than when it has become this massive thing. And now
Hmm.
all of a sudden we're calling in the helicopter and you're stuck with $10,000 bill to get
Yeah.
yourself out of the backcountry. So I really think that's something that I have kept with me. Like I drive it home a lot. Tell me the small things. You're not bothering me. I just want information. I'll file it away and then we can follow up on it later.
Do you ever have to justify or explain the difference between that and what may be perceived as micromanagement?
Yes, yeah. And I think I'm like still in that right now with Boise State, right? Like
Because the
6 months
new,
in,
yeah.
I'm the new person. And I'm like, I just want to know. I want to be involved. I can't support what I don't understand. I can't advocate for what I don't know, right? And that's really where I try to drive it home. My job is to help you do the best job that you can.
Hmm.
And just because I've had a few more years, I've been in higher ed a little bit longer, you telling me these things, maybe I can help prompt you into taking a step forward in
Coach,
a
yeah.
different way that you would have thought of, right? Yeah, I can help
Yeah.
coach if I know what's going on.
Yeah. I think that's interesting. I mean, I deal with that. I've been here at Towson 15 years and I still deal with that.
Mhm.
And sometimes I think, I don't know if you feel this way, but it's like the staff are afraid to tell you the small things as if you're going to think they're not doing their job or they're not capable or whatever. But then like you said, those small things like that blister turns into a big thing. And it's like, if we just would have talked about this, we might have been able to avoid this.
Totally. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know that I ever do it perfectly. Like me as a director, me knowing what's happening in your program area is never a bad thing. You're gonna make mistakes. I'm gonna make mistakes. Like,
Yeah.
it's fine. That's part of the deal. But like, can we work together to just keep
Together.
each other in the
Yeah.
loop?
I think I said this recently on another session. I don't always want to be the firefighter who's only called in an emergency, right?
Yeah.
Let's do this together.
Come
Get
tell me
there.
the wins too. Like,
Yeah,
tell
exactly.
me the good things
Exactly.
that are happening.
Yeah. We're your biggest
Yeah,
cheerleaders. We need to know. We need to know what's going on.
totally.
Yeah. So I'm guessing teaching or being a facilitator has been a big part of your career in almost every aspect from what you described. What
Yeah.
impact has that had on you now as a director? It's probably similar stuff, but is there anything different from the teaching aspect that plays into how you lead or what you do?
Ooh, yeah, that's a great question. Yeah, I facilitation, teaching, I think I'm always thinking through that coach's mentality. Like, how can I help you be the best version of you?
Mm,
Right. And it's really important to me when having just moved here to Boise State, met with everyone. I'm like, hey, what do I need to know about you? Like, I hand all of my staff a sheet of paper and like, these are the things you need to know about working with Katie.
what's
I
on
would
that
love
list?
it.
What
Oh,
stands out?
I try to do a healthy mix, right?
Mhm.
Of like serious leadership principles, like I don't strive for perfection, or I strive for perfection, but I'm not a perfectionist, right? And that's like an important differentiation. I really value timeliness, and so showing up 5 minutes late just doesn't really fly
Hurts
with
you.
me.
Yeah.
It annoys me. If you tell me a meeting's going to be done at noon, like
It better be
be
done at
done at
noon,
noon.
or you better have lunch for me.
Yeah, exactly. Or just like, don't tell me when it's going to
Yeah.
end. Timeliness matters to me. But then also weird things. Prior to me marrying my partner, I didn't own a TV. And so talking to me about pop culture is never going to win. I'm never going to know what you're talking about. But if you want to talk about college basketball, let's go all day. So, yeah, we
I
can talk
got
about
you.
college basketball.
Yeah.
I will also thank my husband for that one.
Yeah. So giving them a list to know what to expect from you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, hey, I would really appreciate it if you turn around and give it to me, right? Like,
Uh,
how do you want feedback? How do you need to meet with me regularly? How often would you like to meet with me? What do you need that to look like? And getting that reciprocal feedback right out of the gate is important to me. So I think a lot about that. I think a lot about like, how do we create those conversation pathways between the director who sometimes I don't know why people just feel like we're untouchable. We can't be interrupted. Our
yep.
schedules are too busy,
Yep.
whatever, right? I hate that. And I'm like, no, my door is open. Like, I'll be honest with you if I don't have time. We'll schedule something on the calendar for later. But from students, my overnight custodian, whoever you are, I'm going to make time for you. Just come talk to me and let's get that conversation going because we can't fix things we don't know about and we can't celebrate things we don't know about. So we got to,
Absolutely. Yeah.
yeah, we got to have those conversations. And I think
Yeah.
yeah, I think that's really important to
Yeah.
me.
Good for you, keeping the door open, like you said. I also think it's good for you. I'm not, and I'm guessing out west where you are, this isn't as uncommon. But for the rest of us, it's not every day that an outdoor person ends up as a director just because it's such a
Mhm.
niche thing. But it make again, I'm saying it makes sense being out west and as big as your outdoor programs are out there. But your path to get there through Res Life is and outdoors unique. And I think that's to be celebrated. So good for you. Congratulations. You're not just like the intramural director or the facilities person. You're the outdoor
Sure.
person, which I think you bring a whole new facilitator aspect to the position. And your analogy, I'm going to use the blister on the trail analogy and pretend like I'm the one who found it for sure when I
Do
need
it.
to.
Do it.
Yeah.
I think it's such a good one, right? And if you've ever hiked, you can
Oh,
relate
yeah.
to a
Oh, yeah.
blister. So
Sure. Yeah, the visual
imagine,
that you gave me is pretty intense too. So I've been watching a lot of The Pit on HBO, the emergency room shows.
yeah,
I've got
okay.
all kinds of visuals
You're
of
like,
that.
I'm on board.
Yeah, yeah. Um, but you got here in Campus Rec by chance.
Total. Yes.
Tell us
Mhm.
about that.
Yeah. So I, yeah, was wrapped up my career in residence life and was looking for something new and applied for a job at Utah State. And to Utah State's credit, they totally took a chance on me as their associate director. And like at the time, they were looking for someone with student development experience and residence life and outdoors checks those boxes pretty well. So shout out to Daniel Lawrence, who was the director there at the time, and he hired me and gave me a chance to come in. And I'm not gonna lie, those first couple of months just felt like I was drinking through a fire hose. I was like,
Mm,
this is a very different world than I am used to. And I would just like, retreat down to our outdoor program because I'm like, oh, I feel safe. I can talk this language. Club sports, I was like, oh dear, I am out of my depth right now. But I guess maybe COVID was a good thing conveniently
Mhm.
for me because it gave me a chance to slow down and kind of learn those things a little bit more, especially as I was like trying to help write these return to play programs. I'm like, okay, so this is what club sports does. This is the role we fill. So this is how we have to bring it back. Right. So I think I was like really fortunate on the timing. I think for me too, it was like a really healing experience for me to come into campus rec.
How
So
so?
my time in residence life ended because my job got cut because of university budget cuts. And so the program got cut. And I think if you haven't
How'd
ever,
that feel?
yeah, terrible. Honestly terrible, Grady. Like, it took me a long time to be comfortable saying that out loud that I lost a job to budget cuts.
Yeah.
It's not a comfortable thing, right? I think most people that are in campus rec, we're pretty high achievers. Like, we like to think that we are at least. And so I know that I did nothing wrong. And yet to get cut was like,
It
nobody
was a
wants to be
kick
cut
in
from the
the,
team.
yeah. And the
Yeah.
time that you
And
put into it, right?
yeah, 12
Same
years,
institution, like 12 years? Yeah.
same institution. I had done my undergrad there. And so like, yeah, it
So you
felt
took it personally.
hurtful. I took it so personally. Yeah,
What'd
I
you
took it
learn
really
from that?
personally. I think the jaded part of me is like, I'm always a number to an institution.
Zero
But
four one seven zero nine. Yeah.
yeah, what number's on that ID card,
Yeah.
right? But I think the positive side of that is like work is work, right? I have to have a life outside of work. I have to find value in other places. My value cannot solely be attached to the job title.
Was
And so I
it?
think it absolutely was at the time. Yeah. And certainly I am proud to be a director of campus rec. Like, don't mishear me, but I have to find value other places too. I have
Mm-hmm.
to find value in being an aunt and being a
Mm-hmm.
wife and being a good friend. And like those are all really wonderful special titles too. And so this is not the only thing that defines me. So I think that's really important. I think because I took it so personally, I felt like that institution didn't care well for me. And so I think I developed a lot of empathy and think a lot about, like, God forbid I ever have to have that hard conversation with someone. But man, when even in like performance and like, how can I bring empathy to those hard conversations? And like, hey, your job's not on the line. That's not what I'm saying. But like, I do need you to step up in these areas, right? And there will be consequences if you can't do that or whatever. So I think I did learn a lot of empathy. And
Compassionate leadership.
yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's tough. I'm haven't had to experience that. I can only imagine how tough that was for you, but it is also a reminder sometimes, right? We have to be reminded that higher ed is a business and
Yeah.
decisions are made. You're way more exposed to it once you get into the director role versus when you're all about the passion of what you do and why you do it. And then it's like, oh, okay, there's it's a business here. And sometimes
Yeah.
I am just going to be a number.
And that's okay, right?
Yeah.
I think, especially right now, right? Higher ed goes through waves. We know
Hmm.
there's turbulent times and then there will be times of absolute feast. But yeah, right now I feel like we're headed towards a little bit more of the business side, and we're gonna have to be honest about dollars and cents in higher education.
Yeah, it's
And
going to
and
get
so
harder
how
before
can
it gets easier, for sure.
totally, and so how can we communicate that compassionately to our staffs and even to students like, hey, I know you really want us to give you a raise this year, and here's why it's not happening, and here's where your student fee dollars are going. We're not trying to be the bad guys. You are important to us. So, how can I still communicate that value
Yeah.
in other ways?
Look at you getting students raises. We don't even do that here.
Out west, not
Yeah.
every state is California or Oregon believing that the minimum wage should be $15. Like,
Yeah, I hear
no.
you. Yeah. You've described yourself as an expert of knowing how to suffer. What do you mean by that?
Yeah, I'm an ultra runner. I love to run, and I prefer to be out on trails. Long distance running is like one of my jams. And yeah, in let's see, in a month, April 11th, I'll be towing the start line of a 100K race. So 62
Wow.
miles. Yeah.
Yeah.
And the truth is, I really believe anyone can do it. I just don't know that everybody wants to suffer for that long, right? Like
Get those
you've got to,
blisters.
yeah, get those blisters, like, figure out how to eat a lot of calories and keep running. And like when
So
you're
how long will
tired,
that
and
take you?
hopefully 12 hours or
12
less.
hours.
Yeah.
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 How many times have you done it before? This isn't your first.
No, this will be my fifth 100K.
How often do you do them?
I do an ultra at least once a year.
At least.
Yeah,
Sometimes more.
sometimes more. Yeah, I've done 100 miles in a day, and it's a challenge, right? A huge challenge. And I remember my best friend came and ran the last 15 miles with me. So she jumped in and ran the last 15 miles with me. And before we started, she was like, tell me why we're doing this. I'm your best friend. I'm here for you. I'm going to support you, but tell me why we're doing this. And I was working still in the outdoors at the time. And I looked at her and I was like, I ask people to do hard things all the time. This is me asking myself to do a hard thing.
Interesting.
And wouldn't you know, she brought that back and reminded me at mile 92 when I was like, Hales, I'm
Ready
done.
to
I'm ready to pass out on the side of the trail. And she was just like, you make people do hard things all the time. Let's go. And she just took off running and expected me to follow her.
That's
And,
awesome.
but I think that still remains true. And I think as directors, we do that a lot, right? Like we ask our staff to do hard things. And I think we do hard things, but sometimes our staff doesn't understand the
They
hard
don't see
things
it.
that we do.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. And so it's very much just a physical manifestation where I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, I do hard things. It's a
That's
good
awesome.
reminder.
Plus, you can always just say to your staff, do you know what I just did yesterday? I ran. Quit your whining. Let's go.
It's, the problem is at Utah State, I could get away with that pretty well. Here at Boise State, I actually have three other runners on
Oh
staff,
my gosh. You got
and
an ultra
they
marathon club on staff. That's
we
awesome.
do. Yesterday we went for a 7 mile run together, and
Yeah.
it was just fun.
That's
Yeah.
great. Good for you. Good for you. I want to kind of correlate this to something else that you've shared. What is your belief or philosophy on play?
Yeah, I think play is serious business. And I think in campus rec, we need to own that. You know, it's our calling card is play. Come play intramurals, play club sports, play pickup, play whatever, like play in the outdoors. You do your thing, it's play. And so I think we need to own that we are serious about play. I also think we are, as human beings, are our most vulnerable selves when we are truly playing. And I think we see this when you watch little kids, when they're playing and they're like creating these imaginary worlds, they don't care who's around. They don't care what you think about them and the way that they're playing. They're just there and they're so vulnerable and it's so honest and it's so real. And then somewhere between, I don't know, 8 and college and adulthood, we forget how to do that. And I think every once in a while we see glimmers of that in people, right? Like when I am on a trail run and I'm like following someone down a trail and they just throw their arms out and are like giggling as they run down a hill, I'm like, wow, that's such a vulnerable thing to do.
Yeah.
That's a really
Yeah.
vulnerable thing to do, but that person is so
They're in it.
authentic,
Yeah.
so them in that moment. And
Yeah.
like, that's cool, right?
Yeah.
This celebration of an athlete who just won an intramural championship, who hopefully it's appropriate and but they don't care who else is around. They are
Mhm.
just so authentically celebrating in that moment. They just played really hard and like, tapped into this piece of themselves that we don't often get to see. And I think that's really cool. Like
Yeah. So
I
the
think that
seriousness for you, when you say play serious business, that's what you're referring to. It's about the emotional aspect, the vulnerability of being lost in what you're doing through play and
totally.
not being hung up on what people are
I did
thinking
it
about you.
perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, like what are
Yeah.
people thinking about me? Like, I did it perfectly. No, I'm just myself, right? I am just me and I'm
Yeah.
happy and I'm thriving. And yeah, I think there's something so beautiful about that.
Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah. Thanks for
Mhm.
sharing that.
Yeah.
All right. So I can't let you off the hook without talking about the blue turf at Boise.
Let's
I'm
talk about the blue turf.
I'm sure the majority of people who are listening know what we're talking about. There may be a few who do not know. So, the football field at Boise, the turf is not green, it is blue. It's the bluest blue that you can see. Watching it on TV, it's
Mhm.
it's blue. It is not
It's
green.
blue. Yes.
Yeah. So, what's up with the blue turf?
Yeah, that is such a great question. So in the 80s, Boise State had this crazy idea that they were going to lean into the blue and orange and bring in a blue turf. And so we did. Boise State brought this blue turf, and it is now our calling card. That turf will be blue
Forever.
forever. They're replacing it this summer, and it's going to be blue. And so I think it it's weird. I think it looks funny on TV, if I'm honest. It looks
Yeah, it
really
does.
cool in person, right? It
I
looks
bet.
really cool in
Yeah.
person, but it looks weird on TV. But the whole university has really just rallied around this. And it's like,
Also,
as an institution, we pride ourselves on blue turf thinking. It's a phrase, it's used all over the place. And really, what we mean by that is just like, we're willing to think out of the box. We're willing to think about things differently. Blue turf thinking is important to us. We are innovators. We're willing to try new things. As an institution, Boise State is pretty young, right?
hmm,
Compared to some of our massive land grants. My colleagues down the road at Utah State, Boise State's been around since the 60s. We were a community
hmm,
college before that. So we're pretty young,
yeah.
especially compared to you East Coasters. And we really pride ourselves on being innovative and being scrappy and thinking outside the box and making statements. So we have blue turf thinking, and we own that.
How does that correlate into the department too?
Yeah,
How
yeah, it was
so?
something that really stood out to me in our department when I came and interviewed, and then certainly as I've been here. We are always looking for how do we challenge ourselves? How do we continue to grow and innovate what we're doing, right? And small things I've seen at Boise State, they were one of the first adopters of like bringing technology into the rec center. Let's own it. Technology is coming. Our students are there already. So Rec was here at
Hmm.
Boise State really early for a long time. Boise State had the most used Rec basketball checkout of any
Nice.
university in the country.
Yeah.
I was informed recently that we got surpassed, but
Oh,
okay. Oh, we won't talk about
we
it.
won't say who. Yeah, we'll let them earn that on their own time.
Yeah, they gotta claim it. And then we just successfully joined the eGym Rev 10
Nice.
party,
Yeah.
right? And
Go
like,
Rev 10. Yeah.
so Rev 10, yeah. But it's a big deal for us. We're excited to be on that cutting edge and thinking about, okay, no, this is a cool opportunity for us to bring in equipment, bring in some technology that's going to help remove some barriers to students
Hmm.
participating, right? And so, how can we introduce that to our students? How can we get more students involved that way? Right. And so, just thinking about what are ways that we can continue to innovate and bring things in. We're looking at like, how do we help communicate workplace skills that our students are developing so that they know how to. Right. And I think all of us are doing this right now, but really meet our students where they're at and help them understand, hey, this is what you do, this is what it means, put it on your
Hmm.
resume for that next job you apply to. We're just always looking at new things.
That's
Like the
awesome.
team here has no shortage of new and exciting ideas.
Yeah.
And so the challenge really is, okay, how do we prioritize them and fund them? But yeah,
I know you've only been there for a short period of time, but when you think about your team or the department, and maybe it's some of the things that you just said, but what makes you most proud at this point?
yeah, a lot of what I just shared, the innovative thinking, but the thing that really sold me on Boise State is they are so committed to student development here. I love it. Our students are so engaged. They're excited to come meet with us and learn what's going on, learn what's coming down the road. They want to be a part of those discussions and those conversations. And as a department, the commitment to student development and putting our students first is very clear. And I'm really proud of that. I
Yeah.
think they really are our shining stars, and I think that's pretty cool.
That's the res lifer in the living learning community and you coming out for
It,
sure.
it totally is. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so easy, as we were talking about earlier. It is a business, right? Higher ed is a business. And
Big
so
business.
yeah, it's sometimes easy to forget who we are serving. Like, why did the business start to begin with? And this team doesn't let you forget. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, and that's pretty cool.
All right. So I got one more question for you.
Okay.
What do you wish more people knew or understood about our jobs as directors?
Yeah, I really wish they understood that we are human too. And
What do you mean by that?
I think it goes back to what we started with. People think we just sit in an office and like, dream up things to make their lives difficult. I don't know. I'm like, no,
Sometimes, some days we do.
okay. Yeah, you're right. Sometimes. No, we're humans, right? We have interests and goals and dreams that exist outside of the office, right? When things are hard at home or there's something going on, we try to hide it, but we bring those feelings with us to the office too. And like, we're not big scary people. I care about you. I'm a people person. I'm gonna put you on my calendar. Give me a chance to do that, right? Like,
Yeah.
give me a chance to be authentically who I am. Like I have fears too. I have things that I worry about. And I don't know that I need to tell every staff member all of my fears and all of the things that keep me up at night, but I think it's okay for them to know, oh, she's got stuff going on in the back of her brain too.
Yeah. And we're
Yeah.
not perfect.
We're not perfect. We're gonna make mistakes. Like we're
Mhm.
gonna, yeah, absolutely. I think that's huge.
Yeah,
Um,
I
I think
agree.
it's really important.
Yeah. Katie, I really appreciate you being with us today on the download. Congratulations on the new position, your success.
Thanks.
Good luck on the self-inflicted torture that you're about to go on in a month with your ultra, which is
Thank
awesome.
you.
I'm joking. I think that's fabulous for you. And I just really appreciate your authenticity and sharing with us. And I think your team's in great hands. So good for
Oh,
you and good for
thank you.
them. Oh, one more quick question though. Is it
Yeah.
true that you have to put something on the turf to keep the ducks from crashing into it like it's water? I heard that years ago and I always wanted to know if that's true. You're laughing, so it must not be true.
I have not heard anything about that, but we do have a major goose problem here at Boise State. So it wouldn't surprise me if
Just in
they
general.
do something to treat it. Like our grass field is, if we walked out there right now, there's probably 35 geese hanging out on our grass field,
But not the
but
turf.
they, but not the turf. They tend to stay away from the turf. So I'm gonna go with no.
Okay. All right.
But I appreciate, I'm gonna ask now. I'm gonna go find
Yeah.
out, Grady.
Inquiring minds want to know. So we'll
Okay,
let me
I'll
know and
find
I'll let
out.
everyone know at the next session.
Yeah, no.
All right,
I will
everybody.
definitely let you know. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you for joining us on the download, and we'll talk to you again later. Have a good one.